Thank you. Senator Cortez Masto.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you. I apologize. I've had another committee hearing going on at the same time, but I appreciate your written comments and the conversation today is so important. As somebody who was the Attorney General of the state of Nevada and worked on consumer protection issues, obviously weeding out any type of fraud is important in this space as well. So let me, though, start with a couple of questions that I have. I understand that companies that originated outside the cryptocurrency space, like Kodak and Burger King, have recently jumped into the cryptocurrency space. However, some critics have warned that companies are using blockchain as an opportunistic venture to pump up stock prices without having a clear business plan. One company, Long Island Iced Tea, I understand, changed its name to Long Blockchain and watched its stock soar. So are you concerned that companies may be utilizing blockchain as a scheme to pump up their stock prices? And I'm going to just open it up to both of you.
The short answer is yes. The longer answer is I've put out a warning in this space, I've put out a warning to securities lawyers as well, which is nobody should think it's okay to change your name to something that involves blockchain when you have no real underlying blockchain business plan and try to sell securities based on the hype around blockchain.
And when you say you put out a warning, what does that mean specifically?
We put out published it's on the SEC website. I made a speech regarding this, but this is an area of concern to us. Anytime there's something new that people seek to raise the value of their securities without the underlying goods being there,
right,
is problematic.
Thank you, Senator. So as you know, the jurisdiction of the CFTC and the SEC is slightly different in this regard, and so Chairman Clayton is rightfully concerned with initial coin offerings that are misrepresenting the affiliation, whether it be with Kodak or otherwise. We focus on fraud and manipulation broadly in instruments where there is wild claims for them. And I mentioned earlier a case we recently brought again on a Long Island firm called My Big Coin, which turned out to be My Big Con. There was nothing there. They were taking people's money and not investing in anything other than their own jewelry and houses and fancy cars and this kind of thing. We've been very aggressive in using our enforcement authority. We've recently brought 3 cases just last month alone. I've said there will be more, and we are looking into this and monitoring markets very carefully. We believe that our big task is bringing enforcement cases and letting people see that, as well as consumer education, which I've also
discussed. Because it has a deterrent effect. You hope it does, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. It's also been reported that more than 3 million Bitcoins have been stolen. That is about 14% of the Bitcoins, or 1 in 7 Bitcoins stolen. And on January 26, CoinCheck, a Japanese currency exchange, was hacked. In minutes, 430 million was lost to hackers. This follows another theft of more than 500 million from another exchange, Mt. Gox. If people put money into a stock or bond and it was stolen, they would have help. For example, the federal government is still trying to help investors recover the money stolen by Bernie Madoff. When virtual currencies are stolen by hackers, what can buyers do to get their money back, if anything?
This is a very good point, and it's one that we've emphasized in our investor alerts, that when you engage in investing online with an offshore entity, the chances that we can do anything practical to get your money back are very, very low.
In our futures market, for example, we have what we call system safeguards, requirements that futures exchanges have cyber protections in place, and they adopt best practices. For these underlying spot markets, which we don't regulate, we don't have the authority to require them to have cyber safeguards in place.
Right.
And a lot of these companies are young, they're startups, they're focused on putting what resources they have into developing their technology. And in the case of some of the cases you mentioned, what I understand was the cyber protections just weren't there. Now, I know that the JFSA has been aggressive on this. We've had some conversations with them. We've asked questions, what are they doing about it? But unfortunately, the theft has already happened.
Right.
And so this is a problem. These underlying exchanges, while we do have enforcement authority, we don't have the same regulatory authority that we have in the markets that we oversee. That's our day job, as one of your colleagues mentioned earlier. And so therefore, this is a gap.
Or the same kind of protection rules like custody.
Right.
It was gone.
Yeah, so it's the old axiom, buyer beware. I mean, so around this space, a lot of education is important. I would imagine from all of the federal agencies to buyers so they know until something else can be done, which I think we're still trying to figure that out. I notice my time is up. Thank you very much. Thank you.